then they don't want to accept anything you have to say anyway. It's difficult. I live in different dimensions, and some people understand that, and some people don't. They don't understand the difficulty that I have living in multiple dimensions, looking ahead and seeing the variables, the positives, the negatives, seeing two worlds parallel to each other, and yet so very different from each other. The perspective that doing this or living this way that it gives us, the experience of it. Many of us run into situations that we could use some help getting out of, or getting through, or even understanding ourselves. It could be that we find something that really works for us. It doesn't hurt anybody, but maybe we're not doing it super great. So we could use some refinement, some clarity, a few pointers. Or maybe we do it just fine. People don't understand, and that makes it harder to live. Be positive. Pessimism isn't really great for anybody. Hiding in the shadows and shying away from the world has its advantages at times. But you're really cutting yourself off from experience. And there are people out there who are open and understanding. And it can be difficult to find them. And if you're okay with who you are, then time isn't the enemy. Time is just your companion. Have patience. Be who you are. And don't shy away from it. Don't let anyone make you feel bad about it. Don't put yourself down about it. Don't think poorly about yourself. There's mumbo jumbo out there about everybody having a purpose or a meaning in their life. I'd like to say that's true, but it isn't. Some people take their meaning away. They don't have a purpose. They don't have a goal, a direction, a focus. Finding out how to do what you want to do and make that work for you. That's the focus. It's your goal. And it's difficult. It's very difficult when your ideals conflict so heavily with the world around you. The system doesn't play nice. The system doesn't play fair, and there is a lot of competition out there. When we, people like me, I don't care to compete. I don't want to fight. I don't care for it. I like a healthy scrap, a little sparring, but I don't want to hurt anybody. I don't want to step on anybody. I don't want to put anybody down, and especially not to get ahead, not to boast myself, not any of it. So I'm asking that be the same for you. I mean, if we could all, or even most, or a majority, well, I guess most and majority, but I mean enough people with this similar idea of living in an organization, not a business, but an organized system that people look out for each other. They work together. They work not just for themselves, but for the greater good, for the greater whole. And that organization plays its part in redefining what positive is in this world. It's not for commercial gain. It's not to put anyone out. It's to help as much as it can, and to change, not to change the way people think, because people don't think like you, and this person thinks differently, and everybody has their own ideas. But there's a collaborative middle ground. There really is. And it's difficult to find, and that's usually usually the reasons that we find we haven't gotten there is because it is difficult to find, and people give up, and there's no perseverance in conflict because those pesky emotions, which we're not taught fully well how to deal with outside of adolescence. As the emotions increase, where is our training to deal with those increasing emotions and the conflicts that we wouldn't normally, that we don't incur in our youth? They don't show us how to adapt anymore. They don't show us the basics for living in the world. They show us, they try to build us into these pegs and these cogs into their structure, a structure that has been failing from the start. It was built with really great intention. It was built with ideas that we're supposed to keep it in a state of being refined, regularly changing, positive and encouraging, with founders that were open-minded and understanding about the differences of the world and the people and the need for change as time goes on. It's about maintaining the system, and a living system, because that's what we are. When your body and all life forms maintain this balance to get you through your 40 to 100 years, and it works in a balance to maintain itself. And you externally, you have to interact with the world around you so that you can maintain that balance. And like that, so it is socially, so it is social structurally, and so it should be in the greater scheme of things as our body works. And I don't know that I've stated this before. I've been thinking it, writing it down a lot, but we need a system that doesn't discriminate, that doesn't segregate, that is more like a biological system where all of the body's needs are met, where distribution is taken care of, where everything gets food and is given proportion to what is necessary. Your muscles, they need so much because that's your workhorse. So what are we paying? How are we taking care of our labor industry? Our brain is this collection at the top of our heads, kind of governing the rest of our body. But how much of our body, how much of that feedback goes into the brain? You get a wound, and we're thinking creatures, so you hurt yourself, and it's like, okay, I need to take care of that. Animals who are less developed intellectually than us, they see a wound and they know they need to take care of it. And so we have this external view of ourselves, and we have this internal system. And as a collective, we need to have an external view of ourselves and the internal system. How is this structured? How is this designed? I'm working on it. It looks like a biological system. You know, if we can get rid of traffic hour and clogged freeways, which is a heart attack every morning and every night, seriously, think about it. Our arteries and our veins get clogged up, and we stop pumping the blood. Every day this occurs. Pre-shift and end shift. Everything gets gummed up. People's lives are put on hold because, well, I'm not going to point fingers, but, you know, we're stuck. So many of us are just, not me per se, but so many of us are stuck in traffic. Now, I fortunately, I work overnight. I'm against the rhythm of the sun, in that my shift takes place in the wee hours of the night, in the darkness, and I'm alone. I too serve a function. And that's here. But that's not all I do. I'm not simply my job. I'm not simply a dad. I'm an individual in a collective. I have ideas, I have thoughts, I have ways of helping beyond what I'm paid to do. And that's where the brain is, because we don't, as a collective, as a community, as our human body and human organization, in that we are a number of people. We have so many little receptors in our brains, but we don't need that in a geography. We don't need that in a system such as we have. When every one of us is a thinking being, we have a brain that's spread out. We need the focus. That is the brain. That is the focus for all of our individual thoughts. This is what's supposed to, this is what democracy is supposed to be. We have a great number of hurdles and obstacles, challenges, difficulties ahead of us in achieving these things. And one of the hardest is you can't make people care. And why don't people care? Well, it's tough to care. It's really hard because it's made to be so. You know, who's going to care about anyone when you're struggling to survive, to climb to the top, to care about things that are material and manufactured to make somebody else some kind of profit. And we need to get away from this idea of profit. We can all profit by working together. That's the real point. That's the balance of the situation. Is we need a healthy type of competition, but not this, I don't know, this destructive force that we've created around us, in us, really, a part of us. And, you know, eyes are opening all over the world. People are waking up, as it's sometimes referred to. People recognize the connectedness or interconnectedness of not just people to people, people to animals, people to nature, people to the world, our cosmic positioning. I really believe in us, and I've been told that's a dumb idea and I should give it up.